analog media.
Oh, I get it.
Operation Phantom Fury has begun in the Iraqi city of Fallujah, putting American soldiers face-to-face with insurgents.
U.S. troops go face-to-face with their enemy. One local Marine tells us what it's like. I'm Meredith Perry with the story coming up next.
Rooms like this are full of stacks of paper. There's a lot of last-minute cramming for many Iowa counties that want new casinos. I'm Jay Villwock. That's straight ahead.
Now live from Des Moines, this is Channel 5 Eyewitness News at 5.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Lisa Carponelli.
And I'm Chris Flanagan. American soldiers have entered the insurgent-filled city of Fallujah on foot. It's a dangerous side of combat we have not seen yet during Operation Iraqi Freedom. The latest on Operation Phantom Fury is tonight's top story. Thousands of U.S. troops attacked the toughest stronghold of insurgents, launching a long-awaited offensive aimed at putting end to guerrilla control of the Sunni Muslim city.
If Iraq is to be free and a peaceful society, one part of the country cannot remain under the rule of assassins, terrorists, and the remnants of Saddam Hussein's regime. Every effort has been made to persuade the criminals running roughshod over Fallujah to reach a political solution, but they've chosen the path of violence instead.
This evening, the Iraqi city of Fallujah is under siege. ABC's Stephanie Sides live in Baghdad with the latest on the battle ensuing in Fallujah. Stephanie.
Good evening. Thousands of U.S. soldiers are advancing on Fallujah tonight, squeezing in the insurgency from all sides. By tomorrow, U.S. forces are expected to have entered the city's center. U.S. troops have begun the battle for Fallujah by attacking the core of the insurgency. Under the cover of night, thousands of forces crept into the maze-like alleyways in northern Fallujah, gaining a foothold in rebel territory. In the opening drumbeat of battle, artillery, tanks, and warplanes blasted planned targets to clear the way for troops on the ground. On the outskirts of Fallujah, Marines have dug into positions in the sand, ready to reinforce troops on the front lines. They've been taking fire from insurgents for days.
It's just a constant exchange of fire.
In the first phase of the ground assault, U.S. and Iraqi forces seized two key bridges and the city's main hospital, which was believed to be a refuge for insurgents. Several foreign fighters were arrested during the raid. In the heart of the city, armed fighters continued to roam freely through the abandoned streets, shouting in Arabic, "God is great," as they fired off mortar rounds. U.S. forces will have to win Fallujah block by block from an enemy driven by vengeance, nationalism, and visions of holy war. Troops are praying victory comes quickly.
It's pretty early, and things are just getting going, but hopefully it doesn't last that long, and we can take the city like we planned.
Most of Iraq is now under emergency law. Borders with Syria and Jordan have been sealed off, and Baghdad International Airport is closed for 48 hours. Live in Baghdad, Stephanie Sy, ABC News. Now back to you.
Stephanie, thank you.
One Iowa Marine trained in street combat paints a picture of what troops in Iraq are dealing with. Channel 5 Eyewitness News reporter Meredith Perry is live in the newsroom with more. Good evening, Meredith.
Good evening, Lisa. Well, U.S. troops in Fallujah are coming face-to-face with Iraqi insurgents, camouflaging themselves as civilians. At times, American soldiers aren't even sure who they're fighting. U.S. Marines call it a three-block war. Going into battle in Fallujah, consider the battlefield to be a three-dimensional one, and consider the threat to be anywhere.
It's much different than open terrain in that insurgents can hide in apartment buildings amongst families and can really blend back into the crowd.
Not only do troops not know who they're fighting, but also are fighting them face-to-face, never knowing what might be on the other side of the door when they open it. It could be a child, or it could be a loaded gun.
The difficulty is that you don't really know exactly who the insurgents are. They use that type of camouflage as a ruse to get as close as they can at times to try to kill or destroy U.S. equipment and personnel.
The mindset of these troops is unimaginable. Worry, fear, uncertainty. According to Leach, excitement.
The Marines and my friends that are in that particular fight are excited to really get this phase of the operation over with, hopefully building towards a more stable and a democratic Iraq and elections in January. That really is the key to coming home.
Major Leach also mentioned another problem the Marines in Fallujah are facing is desertion, not by U.S. troops, but by Iraqi troops. According to an NPR radio correspondent embedded with the Marines, one Iraqi battalion shrunk from 500 men to 170 over a 2-week period.
Thank you very much, Meredith.
Well, funeral services will be held this week for an Iowa soldier killed in Afghanistan. 22-year-old Sergeant James Carney III of Emerson died last Monday after the Humvee he was riding in was hit by a grenade. Funeral services will be held at 10:30 Wednesday morning at St. Mary's Catholic Church in Red Oak. Carney will be buried with full military honors. 2 other Iowans were injured in that same attack.
A small group of soldiers from Camp Dodge will share stories from overseas. About 10 soldiers from the Iowa Army National Guard's 135th Mobile Public Affairs Detachment will serve in Kosovo as part of Operation Enduring Freedom. Their task will be to provide video, audio, and print stories to the media about the Army's service. The soldiers will serve 18 months of active duty.
From the gridiron to steel bars, Iowa State football standout Jason Berryman has been sentenced to jail time. Berryman will serve 300 days in jail and pay a $500 fine for assaulting an Iowa State student in August. He was also given a suspended 10-year sentence, 2 years probation, and a $1,000 fine for robbery charges. Berryman was the Big 12 Defensive Newcomer of the Year last football season. Well, an Iowa judge convicted of drunken driving 2 years ago is in trouble once again. 51-year-old James Weaver of Muscatine in eastern Iowa was arrested on another drunken driving charge over the weekend near Wilton. The associate district judge, who has been on the bench for 21 years, received a public reprimand for pleading guilty to drunk driving in 2002. A decision by the Iowa Supreme Court is pending.
Well, there won't be much work done in Iowa's court offices this week. They'll be closed Thursday for Veterans Day, and they will stay closed on Friday as a way to save money. This will be the 4th time this year the offices have been closed because of budget cuts. Officials say the closings will save the state more than $250,000.
Well, Lisa, what was it, in the 70s this past weekend?
Yes, it was.
Could we be talking the S word coming up? Dare we say it?
I don't know. I don't know if you can handle it. I don't know about the rest of us. Chief Meteorologist Brad Edwards is live in Weather Central with a look at our QuickCast. Brad, are you really talking about the S word?
The S word? What are you talking about? No?
Yeah, that's the word we're talking about.
Actually, there could be a little bit of that in the extended forecast. We're not worried about that yet, though, and I don't think it's going to be a big deal. But we'll talk about that later. I'll tell you what, today, it was a typical November day out there, and temperatures are cooling down as we speak. 49 degrees in Des Moines right now, 46 in Ames, and thankfully no snow in our forecast tonight. Temperatures will be above freezing all night long, about 36 for the low. Tomorrow and Wednesday will be mild, but then it's going to get colder, and then we're going to be talking about possibly some snow. We'll be talking about all of that coming up in just a bit.
Okay, thank you, Brad.
Well, the final gamble is near an end for a handful of counties who want a stake in casino profits. Voters in Washington, Palo Alto, Worth, Black Hawk, Franklin, Webster, and Wapello okayed gambling. Wednesday is the application deadline. Channel 5 Eyewitness News reporter Jay Villwock is live in the Satellite Center as counties scramble to get ready. Jay?
Well, Chris, you know, the stakes are very high, the rewards are great, and months, even years of planning come down to this. This is the deadline week to get those gambling applications in. You better believe one thing, every hour counts toward that deadline.
I don't know if I have as a copy of the agreement, but you're going to put between us.
Oh, you didn't bring that, okay.
Well, I thought I had it in my file, but I don't.
Okay.
A small conference room at a copy store in Clyde.
Oh, I see what you're doing here. Okay.
It's crunch time for this group from Franklin County with hundreds of pages of documents spread on the table. They're making a list, checking it twice and 3 times.
Job descriptions, okay.
On the board, a cryptic reminder, 3 days. That's what's left before they must turn in an application for a gambling license. They know where they want to put the casino in their county. They know how much it will help financially strapped Hampton and the rest of Franklin County. They have reams of paperwork to make their case.
Basically, that all our I's are dotted, our T's are crossed, that we've completely answered every section, every question that they have.
They also know there are other counties, a total of 10 or more carefully prepared applications for the State Gaming and Racing Commission.
Everyone is holding their cards very close.
Franklin knows in this crowded field they must be perfect. They know everybody else has the same goal.
Wow, very detailed.
Now we can tell you that all applications are due no later than 4:30 Wednesday afternoon. You better believe one thing. On Wednesday, it should be a very busy day at the Racing and Gaming Commission, Chris.
Jay, before you go, is there any limit on how many licenses will be handed out?
Well, that's an interesting change. The state has set no limit. So we could see 1 handed out, we could see 2, 3, 4 handed out, maybe more. It's really hard to say. We're just going to have to wait and kind of see what they do with this.
All right, I guess we'll have to wait and see. Hey, Jay, thanks a lot. Jay Villwock live in the Satellite Center.
Smoke may billow from Boone's sewers, and a project a half-century in the making is finally finished. Channel 5 Eyewitness News reporters have the details in tonight's City by City.
Investigators have identified the pilot who died in a plane crash over the weekend. The Cass County Sheriff's Office says Stephen Merk of Wyoda died Saturday morning when the single-engine plane he was flying crashed into a lake in Anita. Investigators say the plane was having engine trouble. Caitlin Ford, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
Don't be concerned if you see smoke around Boone. The Boone Public Works is testing the sewer system by pumping smoke through the lines. Anywhere the smoke can seep through will be patched up. The Public Works says the repairs will result in a more efficient system. Joel Smith, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
It's a rebuilding project 55 years in the making. A violent storm damaged the steeple on the Jefferson County Courthouse in 1949. Since then, a Boone man, Lee Gobble, has spent 4 years raising money to put the steeple back. Finally, he raised enough money to rebuild the building's steeple, and now Gobble is looking to improve other parts of the courthouse. Brian Armentrout, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
It's about that time of year to listen for the familiar sounds of holiday bells. The Salvation Army is trying to round up 1,000 volunteers to be bell ringers at 70 locations across the metro. Fundraising for the holidays starts this Saturday and it'll run through December 24th. Last year, the Salvation Army had hoped to raise $50,000, but it was unable to reach its goal. This year, it's hoping that will change. If you'd like to volunteer, you can call them 282-3599. Again, 282-3599.
It certainly is the sound of the holidays, isn't it?
It sure is.
Absolutely.
Great sound.
Well, it is a passionate farewell speech for an openly gay governor, and he's not apologizing about his sexual preference.
A man who tried to assassinate former President Ronald Reagan is asking to get some time out of confinement.
Some top advisors are visiting ailing leader Yasser Arafat, but they may not be able to get to see him. We'll be right back.
You're watching Channel 5 Eyewitness News at 5 with Chris Flanagan, Lisa Carponelli, Chief Meteorologist Brad Edwards, and Sports Director John Walters. This is Channel 5 Eyewitness News at 5.